Welcome to It's Not That Difficult, the podcast dedicated to exploring the fascinating world of child development. Hi, I'm Puja Lohia, your guide on this journey, where we'll dive into milestones, challenges, and joys of nurturing young minds. So grab a cozy spot and join us as we uncover the magic of childhood, one episode at a time. Welcome to It's Not That Difficult. This is a very exciting episode covering struggles we see with children's mental health, with phones, bullying, and how us parents can navigate through it all. We will talk about what parents can actually do before entering this stage, or even what they can do while they're in that stage. So join us at It's Not That Difficult for this very exciting episode with Dr. Shraddha Chaudhary and psychologist Vishakha Rathi, the founder of Rebuilding Minds. So, Dr. Shraddha, because we discussed what the importance and the harm of having a phone very early on, what do you think is the right age, to give a child a phone? Because, of course, it's not a phone just anymore. It's a smartphone now with not just calls, but, of course, social media and all the side effects that come along with it. What do you think is the right age to give one?
I think it's difficult to tell the right age because it varies, right? But if we want to talk about the correct age, then I think it must be as late as possible. Like, till it is very much required.
Till however time you can convince.
Definitely. Otherwise, it is a big no from my side. Even children, toddlers, we give mobile phones while they're eating or while we want to distract them. That's not the right way.
Why do you say that? What effect does it have on the brain?
Okay, so several studies have shown that, and even in our experience, we have seen that when we give a mobile phone in hand, the child, first of all, has full liberty over it, right?
Correct.
The child starts, scrolling through it. And this is something which is very, very addictive, right? When he is viewing one screen, suddenly he gets an impulse and he just scrolls and he gets second screen. It gives him such a high, oh wow, this is something new. And then he goes on to the third, the fourth, the fifth and sixth, and this keeps on happening. Right. Even if he is viewing something which requires concentration, he is still not able to. He would start scrolling. Every parent would have noticed this when they have given phones to them. So this means this affects the concentration, the focus of the child. So at very early age, we are disrupting his ability to focus, to concentrate. This will impact his later life, like when he would be a student, when he would be in an office, wherever he would be. He would always have a problem in focusing, right? He might become impulsive, right? He might become very anxious, right? So when we talk about anxiety disorders, mobile phones are contributing a lot.
But Dr. Shraddha, tell me one thing. Today we are not living in a vacuum. The world is much more connected. How does a family decide, or a mother or a parent decide their own set of rules for the kid when they see every other kid not having those rules? How do you decide that timeline? Because when we were kids, then it was very easy because side wale ghar mein kya ho raha hai, we had no idea. Right? It was very, very easy. School mein kaun kya kar raha hai? Unless you go to school and interact with that particular kid, you had no idea. Today the kids are very aware. They are very much aware कि अरे नहीं उसको तो TV privileges है, उसके पास तो iPad privileges है, वो तो phone देख रहा है. Even for the cousins for that matter, कि वो देख रहे हैं. Why are you saying no to me?
Yes.
How do you expect the parents to deal with that?
And that is why I say this is a challenge that everyone is facing.
Right.
So every family dynamic is different. We need to devise some ways, how to make it smooth for parents and for children. For example, if you want the child not to use mobile phones or not to be in TV, then you have to show it to the children, right? For example, I don't use mobile phones when children are around. Right. When I have children at home, I don't use mobile phones in front of them. So I use it as less as possible. Right. If we are into the phones, the child is going to model us.
Correct. Right.
Secondly, even if we are giving phones, so it's very difficult not to give phones to teenagers, right? So if we are giving them phones, we need to set few specific rules. For example, the correct duration, right? So if it is a 24 hours day, we need to set a time limit. For example, we can just give them mobile phones for 1 or 2 hours
Right.
throughout the day, and that would be the best period for them. They can do whatever they wish, right? So first thing is the time duration. Third is, when they are using the phone, we as parents or caregivers must have some supervision to see what exactly are they doing, right? Because this is a problem these days, that every kind of content is available on internet,
Of course.
right? On Instagram, on Facebook, on every other social media platform, or there are gaming platforms. We don't know what exactly is happening.
Gaming is a different world now.
Yes. So the parents, they are completely unaware, right? And sometimes the child is so much into it that they end up having addictions of gaming, addictions of, internet. So before this situation goes up to that level, I think we must intervene and see what exactly the child is doing. And this has to start from the very beginning. Like, if you have given the phone for, for 10 years, the child is using phone, and suddenly you wake up and then you say, no, I'll see what you're doing, that is going to create a problem.
Right.
But let that problem happen for few weeks or months. It's okay. The child will understand that why the parent is doing that. Give them facts. The teenagers today, they need facts. They need explanations for everything. You
Right.
can't just say, you can't use phone. That's it. So they need reasons. You have to tell them that, okay, you can use the phone, but for this much duration, and whatever you are doing, you can do. But then I must know what you're doing or what
Right.
you are
That
viewing.
is the rule of this house, probably.
Yes, this house, yes. So eventually the child will understand that this actually had a positive outcome.
Right.
Right.
But I feel, Dr. Shraddha, it's still easy to reach out to a kid जो छोटा है. Right? Cut to, I go to a teen, an adult, almost adult teen, where you think 16 or 15. And there, when, first of all, their demand is very high. कि नहीं, अब तो मुझे phone चाहिए ही चाहिए, personal चाहिए. अब now that sharing iPad and sitting for 2 hours, that window is out. Now I need to have a personal phone. You somehow stretch it off, you give it in 11th standard. When you do give that phone, what is the set of rules that you should make? Because अगर आप rules नहीं बनाओगे, you will find yourself literally desperately trying to unlock that phone one day,
Yes.
trying to crack why is my kid depressed?
Definitely. Definitely. So, see, we cannot be vigilant every time, right?
Right.
First thing is, as I already said, time duration has to be set, even with teenagers, right? So, there has to be a time when they are studying, the phone has to be away from them.
That should be a deal from
Yes,
day one.
that has to be a deal, right? So even if they usually say that I have work in tablet, I have to see
yes.
something in my mobile phone, and then only I can work. Then we have to devise some other way, maybe a tablet which has no internet connection,
Right.
right? So internet must not be. I'm sorry, the apps may not be there.
Yeah,
No,
like
the
you
social
can have
media
a parental
apps,
lock, right?
yes, the parental lock can be there, and only few apps which are related to studies. That tablet or iPad has to be given to the child, not the mobile phone, because it will keep on having notifications and the child will be distracted.
Correct.
Right. So this rule has to be kept. Uh, Other than that, see, when a teenager becomes rebellious, when does it happen? Usually it happens when we are forcing something onto the teenager, or we are telling him to do something for which there is no explanation. That is when usually they become rebellious. So first is we need to explain. Second is we need to give them their own space. It is very important now. We can't be seeing what they are doing every time. Otherwise, they'll be frustrated, right? So there has to be some time, maybe a 2 hours time, where they can take their own time. They can move out of the house. They can be with their friends. They can do whatever they wish, right? Under supervision, obviously. You must know where he is,
Right.
But there has to be some space given. Otherwise, it will be suffocating for him, and then it will be suffocating for you also.
Correct. Wow, I think it's very hard to do, but
Very hard.
very hard to do. But I like the thought that the kids really adapt what they see,
Yes.
and if you have a restrictive approach towards technology, even the kid will eventually have one.
See, what is happening is something that is being shown in the internet, on the internet or on the social media platforms, that's highly stimulating. The reels that we see, they are maybe 30 seconds reels or 10 seconds reels. They are so captivating. They are so gluing that a child tends to get impacted by them more so than what the parents say, right?
Right.
So the parents also need to show their assertiveness in such a manner that the children start trusting them, that okay, if my father is saying that, then that's true, right?
Right.
So you have to become models for them, that see how managed I am, how scheduled I am for my routine, right? You need to be calm, composed, and a patient parent. Only then your child is going to model you.
Right.
Otherwise, he will follow whatever is being told in the reels or on the social media.
Dr. Shraddha, what do you think? So, of course, there is meltdown in kids, but there is also meltdown associated with technology. For example, there is an iPad given to the kid, and when the iPad has stopped working, or maybe the parent has finally, the time is up and has taken it away, there is a bigger meltdown that follows it. There was a meltdown to begin with, then the iPad came in picture, and then there was a meltdown further. How do you think parents should navigate situations where the child is kind of blackmailing them for these things?
That's a very difficult situation to handle, actually. For this, the caregiver or the parent has to have a lot of patience, first of all, right? And they need to be aware why a child usually go and shows such tantrums, I would say. So, first of all, you have to be conscious enough that, okay, he's a child, and children usually don't know how to express their needs and desires. And when they know that the parent has already said no to something, I must make a scene, and then only maybe I'll be getting that. So when the child has this in the mind, and the child is throwing tantrums, then the parent, first of all, has to be calm and composed in that situation also. When the child is maybe crying a lot or shouting or hitting, the parent has to hold the child in his arms and try to tell him that, okay, I am listening. Whatever you want to say, just tell it to me. So the child first understand that my crying is not being given importance. The parent wants to actually talk to me. Right. So after a few minutes, the child will definitely understand and will stop crying, because the crying behavior is not reinforced here. So what are the reinforcing behaviors? I'll tell you. So if the parent starts saying, why are you crying? Why are you lying down? Why are you shouting? Don't you think this is wrong? Do you think I'll give you this if you shout like this? If you are talking about that behavior only, this means you are actually focusing, giving a lot of attention to that behavior. Whenever we give attention to one behavior, it is going to increase. It will definitely increase. So we need not give any attention to that behavior of him. We just need to ask him, what is the problem? Tell me, what do you want? If he says that I want the mobile phone, then you have to start talking to him. This will also distract him, by the way. So we have to keep talking to him that, okay, I'll give you the phone, and I had already given you, and the time is over. So this way, it won't help you, right?
Right.
If you will be calm, then maybe the next time you will be given phone for the same duration.
Right.
This does help every time, right? So this might take some time. Maybe in the first session only, in the first time, you might not achieve the relaxation too early. But maybe the second time, the third time, this will eventually happen. And also the child would know that if anything happens, anything that I do, the parent is not going to give me the mobile phone. So
Right.
at least he will have this in mind, that the parent will do anything else but not give me what I'm wanting.
Correct.
So eventually that behavior will fade.
Right.
That's psychology. That's the reinforcement techniques that we use.
Nice. What is the one advice that you would give to parents for better mental health of their kids? If there's one advice that you would give to parents today, what is that?
So I think parents first need to understand that children are being too sensitive and being too observant of their activities. So first they need to be consciously aware about what they are doing, right? Because children are going to model them. Secondly, if you want to raise confident, resilient children, then you must always keep exposing them of small struggles and challenges in daily life. Okay. For example, just taking their help in small daily household chores, or maybe the toy is broken, so let's fix it, right? These kind of small responsibilities can be given to the child so that they are more confident in the later life. Also, do not treat them as children, I would say. Treat them as small tiny adults, right? So they have their own mentality, they have their own mindset. Respect that. Okay, keep talking to them. I won't advocate being a friend to the child. I won't advocate that, because when you become a friend to the child, the authority, the assertiveness is gone.
Right.
And then the child doesn't actually listen to you.
Right.
So I think some level of assertiveness needs to be maintained. Then only the child is going to follow you. He will treat you as a mentor. Right. So that is the advice from my side.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Shraddha. Thank you so much for coming. It was a beautiful session, and I'm glad we did it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.